What's up, guys? We're here. We're where? We are where it all began. So this is time travel. Let me take you back to a time when there were two Germanys, one Yugoslavia, a long time. This is where I started working out, all right? So I'm from a small town. Gyms were like scars, opening hours sucked. So my dad bought me this, right? So there's a lat pull down, there's some sort of a butterfly. This comes up, obviously, you know, for like a flat bench, you can make a decline. We have dumbbells, push-ups, and because we were dudes, we bought everything. Like we bought the Easy Bar, we bought the Joe Weider tricep blaster, right, and bicep blaster, and of course nothing for the legs, right? So this was sort of where we got together, like Saturdays, Sundays, you know, couldn't go to the gym, we would work out, like a bunch of dudes, we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, check this out. This, I'm really dating myself. This is actually with cassettes, okay? So you had to make a tape and figure it out. But there was only Guns N' Roses and Metallica. There were two tapes, and if you didn't like it, then so be it. 1991, Universal Soldier. It was a piece of art. So we trained here. We had those dumbbells, you know, that you would load with plates. And then we had those. They were like filled with water or sand, right? Like when we had like new dudes and they weren't so strong, would be like, hey, you take the blue dumbbell. And nobody wanted to be the blue dumbbell. We're like, oh, come on, man. Saying, oh, we don't want to change the weight. It's too stressful, you know. And so as you can see, it's like, there's no window here, right? Let me show you how the AC works in this joint. The AC works by, this was my mom's laundry room. And you would go outside. And here is, there's the firewood. You would stand here, you know, catch your breath, cool down, and then you would go back in. Okay, this was the air condition. So, and in terms of training, we didn't really know anything per se. I mean, we had like the flex and that kind of stuff, you know. So work out with this, and this isn't a story of like me overcoming a war zone or whatever, but what it is that I didn't grow up privileged. I mean, I certainly was very lucky, but we just went for it, you know? Like we looked at like Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those were all guys from Europe that made it in America, and we wanted to be that guy. And yeah, like, I mean, there's a workout that I wrote like in the early 90s, and it's horrendous, okay? I mean, today I would never do this again, but back then that's all we had. And sometimes, I mean, it's basically just upper body, like a push-pull. It's not that terrible, but I also got bad handwriting. But we just went for it, right? So like, this was when we had no idea about supplements or food. Like, we bought Crash Weight Gain number 7, which was basically really expensive Nesquik, okay? And yet, we had some really good gains, and the point is that I feel today there's such an overload and people wait for everything to be perfect, and it's never going to be perfect, you know? Like sometimes a poorly laid out little plan that you follow through will still do more for you than if you're always waiting for everything to be great and perfect. So, see these mirrors? So one day my dad calls me and he's like, hey, the theater is renovating. I'm like 16 years old. I'm like, and I go to the theater. I don't want to see a play. He's like, no, they're giving away mirrors. So we had those mirrors, which was like, holy cow, we had mirrors, right? And like, we had great workouts down here. Like we had this, like I said, ghetto blaster. I'm not quite sure why there's a pirate ship behind, but I guess you gotta have a pirate ship. And I don't know. And this was really the foundation. And the point is like, we just loved to train, okay? So yeah, not everything was perfect and we didn't know, but like, progressive overload. We just went for it, And the point is that sometimes you just gotta find this joy of when you started. You just can't wait to touch weights and just, go for it, okay? So if I can become somewhat successful with this setup, then you should just be just fine, right? Mike out.